Hi everyone, welcome back to the Anand Studio. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Sriram Seshadri, who is an entrepreneur who is very well known in Tamil Nadu for sure and definitely outside Tamil Nadu too. And he is a political analyst as well as an economic analyst. Okay, we'll jump straight in to have a great discussion today. Thank you so much, sir, for coming over to my channel.
My pleasure and hello to everyone.
Thank you, sir. We'll jump straight in to the first question. It's all about Tamil Nadu and what's going on in Tamil Nadu today. A lot of interesting events happening there. We'd like to get your views on that. So, firstly,
Definitely.
DMK's strategy on Hindu temples. What is your perspective on that, sir?
See, DMK has been offshoot of the Dravidian movement called Dravida Kazhagam, which is actually part of, or rather, it was created as a justice party in 1920s by four different eminent individuals who actually started this as a anti forward caste community initiative or outfit. That is how they call, especially why should I even mince word, anti-Brahmin movement, because they wanted to do certain things in the temple and then they felt that they were not given the utmost importance compared to the priests inside the temple. So that is how they started it, and then Eve Ramasamy Naikar also joined this movement. Later on, he converted this into a full-fledged social movement called Dravida Kazhagam. And DMK broke away from Dravida Kazhagam because Dravida Kazhagam did not want to be in a political space, that is electoral political space, whereas Anna and Karunanidhi both wanted to be in the electoral politics, and hence they actually had a lot of difference of opinion and then came out to start the DMK. Initial phases when Anna was there, at least, he refined to a greater extent to say that, accepting all the religions. And today, the conversion mafia, if I can say so, and the conversion movement all together put together infested and then, dominating the DMK and Dravida Kazhagam and other communist and other separatist movements in Tamil Nadu all put together. For them, the Hindu temples are the major roadblock in conversion. And that is why, the reason for anti-Brahminism also is the same reason. One may recall the Kashmiri files, what happened to the Pandits in the Kashmir. In Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu is a, in Tamil we call Anmiga Bhumi. That is, it is a full-fledged heritage, spiritual and heritage content. You might find the Hindu temples spread across Tamil Nadu. The famous Vaishnava Acharyas, Alvargal and Saiva Acharyas like Nayanmargal came, they were all from Tamil Nadu. And that is the irksome for the conversion, initiatives or conversion mafias, where it is troubling them for quite some time. And 2021 DMK regime, in fact, some of the pastors said that this is they actually put the government in place as an arm to from their Christian community. That is the level of dominance that Christian community has, especially the missionary community. I wouldn't blame the Christian community as such. There are set of people who want the conversion to happen. That missionary team or a group is the sole reason for this Hindu hatred, Hindu temple hatred that is happening in Tamil Nadu in the last 1 year especially. It's been happening for last 60-70 years, but last 1 year we see an aggression on that. Several, more than 200 temples had been demolished in the name of regularization process, etc. But still, these temples had
How
been
many, sir?
at least
Sorry, can you repeat the number?
over 200 temples had been demolished.
200 temples.
Yes. And some of them has been 30-40 years old. It's not just, that it was constructed a year or two old, that, in a Porambok land or in a government land it was constructed. Yes, there are irregularities, no doubt about it. When commercial buildings are allowed to regularize, The temples also could have been allowed to be regularized, unless and otherwise it is in a public place which otherwise is hampering in some other activities or some other issues. Then definitely, suppose for example, to lay down a highways or roads, if temples are constructed, definitely that has to be removed. But on the same time, any such encroachment or any such illegal constructions of other religious places are untouched. That is why we all feel very very let down that this government formed the government with a Hindu majority vote. But the problem in Tamil Nadu is people differentiate between the religious faith versus political faith, and that is where the problem. And whereas other religion connects both, they for them religious faith is utmost important than the political following. Whereas for the Hindus, they have been so far brainwashed to a major extent that for them they even think that many of them are made to think that they are not Hindus. They say that Tamilians is a separate race, and then they call all the Brahmins as
Aryans and
Vanderis, Aryans, who had been a refugee from came through Khyber and Poland passes from Peshawar or that those Middle East areas. I think that is how the entire brainwashing, and one of the sole reason for that is E.V. Ramsamy Naikar and his team of Dravida Kazhagam.
hmm. So recently also there was this whole debate around Ayodhya Mandapam, right? And then
Right.
the court again squashed that, if I am not wrong,
Yeah, that's right.
right? So that also
So
happened. And
this is where the unity amongst our Hindus is lacking a lot. This Ayodhya Mandapam fiasco has been an ego clash by one single individual. I don't want to name that individual by and give him importance. This guy was dropped as a trustee because Ayodhya Mandapam has so many members, and then the trustees are chosen by election, and this guy lost the election. And since then, since 2004, this guy had been very perverted that he lost the election, and then he wanted to take a vengeance against Ayodhya Mandapam, went to court, went to HRNC department saying that a lot of embezzlement happens, never gave any proof of it. And 2013, when court directed that HRNC should take over this Ayodhya Mandapam, immediately the order was passed. So I wouldn't blame, in this case, I wouldn't blame the HRNC department, though they were actually waiting for something to happen so that they can grab it, because it has so many asserts. I think 4 or 5 schools under it, and then prominent assert in West Mambalam in T Nagar, Kalyan Mandap or marriage hall in West Mambalam. So all these things, definitely they were eyeing for it, and then they were just waiting for something to happen, which this gentleman who actually lost the election, out of his perversion and ego, gave this chance to them. And when that stay was vacated in 2021 March, HRNCs tried to take it over without even giving an appeal or without even giving any opportunity for them to reverse it. Thankfully, today, say, 2-member bench of the court had quashed that order and then said, this is not a religious place as such, this is more of a community of people, and then they quashed the order. So every time we cannot be just going to the court for any violation of law by the state as well as any individual. But in this Ayodhya Mandapam issue, I would squarely blame it on individuals' perversion rather than anything else.
yeah, but the interesting thing to note is the swift action that's being
Yeah.
taken, okay, vis-a-vis the other communities, right? There are churches also in debatable lands and all that, which I'm
Yes.
hearing.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
but swift action probably has not been taken there. All right,
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
the
Government was waiting for a chance, and then we just walk into the trap, and or rather HRNC department was waiting for a chance, and then you just give it on a platter. Why would they just ignore it and then be very fair and judicial, right? That is where I'm saying we lose the plot. We as Hindus do not have the unity. For us, the personal ego is far more important than the collective community, benefits.
hmm. And recently again the Dharmapuri Adinam issue that had come.
Yeah.
Patna Pravesam, that
Yeah.
whole controversy around that. And
Yes.
looks like today it's sorted out.
Yes, it has been withdrawn, or rather, I wouldn't say that government allowed, government just vacated the order illegally passed. That's what I would put it as. And in this
Mhm.
case also, Dharmavara Adhinam, this issue came because governor visited about 2 3 weeks before for initiating this person's Rath Yatra. And because this government is irked by the governor's activities, and the governor not falling in line with this government's whims and fancies, so they want to take a revenge on the Dharmavara Madhinam. Thankfully, in this case, several people came together. Several
Mm.
Madhatipadis came together. Like Madurai Adhinam spoke very openly. He just challenged the government.
Right.
Mannargudi GR spoke very openly, challenged the government. Annamalai BJP president came openly and then said, "I am going to be there. I will go and lift the palanquin." H. Raja said that I am going to be there. Several Hindu outfits, RSS and Sangh Parivar came together, and many other social media, philanthropists, social media influencers, and everybody poured out their thoughts on that. Even though on the other side, Dravida Kazhagam was the principal person who opposed this. They said, how can a human being, carry another human being? Oh, this is a social injustice. Forget about it. This is a guru. When a guru Mahasanidhanam, you treat him like a god. And that is what is the bhaktas are doing. And in fact, I was so amused the statute they used. It is Prevention of Beggars Act is what they had used, saying that
Wow.
this is a forceful begging by devotees carrying their guru is termed as a forceful begging, or for the sake of monetary purposes they are forced to do this, and that is a statute they use. This is humiliation, in my opinion. Humiliation.
Exactly.
I think it is good. I'm not going to appreciate the government vacating the order, because I'm going to still condemn that in the first place. How dare the government do this thing? And that is what I would condemn. I think this pressure should be on the government. Stalin had been saying for several times, they're saying that we are not anti-Hindus. This is clearly an anti-Hindus. And the last 1 year, there has been several U-turns by the government or forced U-turns by the court because of their mismanagement, because of their wrong decisions and wrong arrests, wrong decisions imposed on this Hindu community. Ayodhya Mandapam is a good case. Dharmavaram Adhinam is a good case. Several arrests that have been happened. Maridas and Kalyan Ram. I think Kalyan Ram of BJP, Shibin of BJP, several other people have been arrested, and then court actually did not release them on bail. They just quashed that order itself, quashed that arrest itself, and then nullified that effect. I think to this extent, the government is becoming very intolerant, and then anti-Hindu mindset they are exposing. I think this is not good governance, in my opinion.
So, what is the benefit now in current times to DMK as such by doing all this? Okay.
See, two reasons why they do this. It is appeasement of minorities, because minorities still vote as a en bloc. Okay,
Hmm.
if the church says vote for them, the entire followers in that church votes for them. So minorities vote en bloc, en masse. The second is media. They can disrupt any sort of movement, through the media support. In fact, many lockup deaths have never been talked about. When Satangulam lockup death happened, there was a huge hue and cry by the media. Whereas now, the media has just turned a blind eye. In the last 1.5 2 months, there are 5 lockup deaths happened. Whether the person who died is a criminal or not is immaterial. The police do not have the right to take away a life like this. And this is something that the media has not even uttered a word. They have not conducted a debate. They have not even flashed this as a major news case. And it is being ignored by the taken away from the public eye. So the government is, or the Dravida Kazhagam or Dravidian movement has been successful in, I would say, brainwashing the majority Hindus to say, keep away that religion, religious belief, your temple going rituals from politics. I will humiliate, I will insult and every damn thing of your religion. But still, when it comes to voting, they say that okay, don't allow BJP to win. Don't allow it. Between ADMK and DMK do this. I am not going to just spare the ADMK saying that they are a holy cow. Even under Jayalalitha, ADMK was equally corrupt when it comes to the minority appeasement and then majority humiliation. Jayalalitha has arrested Sankaracharya on a false charge. Finally, he had to go through the court to get acquitted by this. Similarly, in fact, that time Karunanidhi said, if I had been a chief minister, I would not have arrested him until it is proven guilty. Until such time, I would not have made a, arrest like that. So this is what, I wouldn't, so that way, the Dravidian movement, it is very sad state to accept that they had been successful in humiliating your own belief system, and at the same time allowing them to be voted to humiliate again. And that is what is, they have been successfully, the Stockholm effect has been driven to their mindset of every Hindu voters mind in Tamil Nadu. This is a very, very pathetic state of affairs. And what is a reason they use? Anti-Brahminism. And they don't say that I hate Brahmins, I hate Brahminism. And because these are all Caldwell's theories that they just keep, they just put it in everybody's mind, generation after generation after generation, and alienate themselves from our Hindu belief system, Sanatana Dharmam. And Tirumavalavan of VCK openly says that I will not rest until the Sanatana Dharmam is entirely thrown away from Tamil Nadu. So it is a question of the rebellion mindset that has been cultivated over the years in people, generation after generation. It is not easy to change it, but I think there is a huge amount of uprise, huge amount of wake-up call that has come in to many in the last few years, especially in the last 1 year. Hopefully, people should teach a lesson to the electoral lesson to these people for them to turn around. Because Cho Ramaswamy of Tuklak once said, if Hindus are going to vote en masse, then Karunanidhi will perform a bhajan, Timuka will be going to temples and do all these rituals that everybody they are criticizing. That is what happened when Mrs. Stalin went to temple and then prayed, did all those pujas and everything. The same person allows that same temple to be humiliated, same temple to be demolished, then it is only for the personal gain that she had done. I think that is what is coming out very clear.
Right, right. Hopefully, better sense prevails.
Yeah.
In the near future.